Good morning, everyone. It's Friday morning. We're here for mat class. Nice little core tune-up and some movement to take us into the weekend. We will start on the floor, lying down. Gather your stuff, so your ball, any dumbbells you want to use, any flex bands you want to use, and then stretch out and get comfortable. Put a blanket or pillow underneath the back of your head if that feels like a comfortable thing. And you can have legs straight or bent. We're going to breathe here for a little while and just settle into the body and bring our attention into what we're doing, which is easy because it's just breathing. So you lie back, feel yourself relaxing, all the effort gone from the muscles, floor holding you up, breath rolling in through the nose and out through the mouth. Take your time with that. Explore the length and depth of your breath, but don't push it, right? So you don't want to move to a place where you feel like you're out of breath or you're kind of struggling. So easy peasy. Weight of your legs resting, the tailbone settling. As the hips relax, you'll find your pelvis gets sort of pleasantly weighted into the ground, so it feels very stable. Settling the ribs and the shoulders. As you relax the muscles of your face, think also of relaxing the muscles over your scalp and behind your neck. 2 more rounds of breath. And at the end of those rounds of breath, bend your knees if they're straight and place the ball between them. Put your feet in a place that allows the hips, the pelvis to remain comfortably weighted and to have a feeling of, solidity, which is not the same as tension, but just some steadiness. And we'll inhale through the nose. As you begin your exhale through the mouth, begin also to very lightly apply the inner thighs, squeezing the ball. Inhale and soften the squeeze a little bit. And repeat with each phase of the breath. So very often we use different types of cueing for different phases of the breath. It's good to be versatile. So we're mixing it up a little bit here. Nothing unfamiliar, just focusing on the inner thigh connection as you exhale and feeling how the bottom of the pelvis, as it is weighted into the ground, is also grounded into the back of the tops of your inner thighs. We don't want to lose our legs as we establish our core. Now for the last couple of exhales here, as we find the connection into the lower extremities, we also want to be aware of the exhale breath. It travels upward. It's exiting through the mouth. You want to feel that as the exhale lifts upward, it provides buoyancy under each level of the spine. And you'll feel that finally as a lengthening through the inner dome of the skull, a grounding downward and a lengthening upward. And ta-da, there is that opening, that length that we talk about as the hallmark of your exhale. Because we're squeezing the ball, odds are we've already got our Kegel. All that's left to do is to integrate it with the inhale. So after you've had one more exhale, you find your length. Then on the inhale, imagine that you can draw the Kegel up into the body, just a little bit toward the back of the navel. Continue as before with the exhale. The inhale, no less important. We're not going to clutter it up yet, though. Just think of the inhale as lifting pelvic floor inward like an elevator, rising up through the interior levels of your spine. And each exhale continues as before. Continue here for 3 more rounds of the breath. And being present in that moment by moment process. One more inhale and exhale. And then we layer some more. We add directly this movement through the lower spine, preparing for imprint with your next inhale. And then exhale, making your imprint, lengthening the low spine, flexing it, rolling the pelvis to make that movement possible. Release this morning on your inhale breath. Sorry about the dogs. We'll exhale and imprint. And inhale to release, allowing a return to neutral. Feel how the lower abs work to mediate this process. So muscles move the bones. All right, feel the lower abdominal muscles contracting and scooping to move the bones of your lower spine into this lengthened position. Of course, the pelvis rolls because it's attached to the bottom of your spine. Inhale, release. Do one more, please. And when you've returned to neutral, pause and lower or remove the head mat. We will build directly into the hip rolls from this position, from this movement. When you've got your head settled, you've got a good neutral in place, we'll inhale in preparation, and using the exhale as the initiation, we breathe out and roll up through the base of the spine, lengthening through the tail just before the lift off of each vertebra, bending through the spine in sequence. At the top, make a neutral position from the chest to the knees, a little bit of an upright slope. And then exhale and roll back down. With the same pattern, continue through 3 more repetitions. You can use your own breath tempo. Please be complete and present in the movement. You'll feel that not only does the pelvis move as in its attachment to the low spine, but it moves in its articulation around the thigh bones, right? So we've got rolling through the hips, hence the name. Roll back down, lowering each vertebra in turn, and keep your feet. So on your last 2 repetitions, we squeeze the ball, we find the connection of the core into the lower extremities, and feel the support for the lower extremities in the extension of the hips and the lift of the spine. And then also in the lowering of the spine and the flexion of the hips. Last repetition, please. When you've reached your own end point, pause and put the ball off to the side. And I'm watching the monitor, so I'll try not to rush you guys. Go ahead and drop the knees a couple of times in each direction to put a little bit more give into the hips, both in the same direction, both right or both left. And when you've done that little readjusting, we'll set it up for some hip release. So we'll be working with one leg consistently for a few repetitions. We're also working in a neutral spine. The non-moving leg, you can have straight down the mat or you can keep it bent. Just know that we're only going to work with one side until I cue it differently. Okay. Prepare with an exhale. And on the inhale, drop the moving leg out to the side and then stretch through the length of your knee. Roll it inward on the exhale, bend the knee and pull the leg right back up. Do 4, please. Out and down with your inhale, over and up on your exhale. Easy peasy in the hip. You might get a pleasant rocking side to side in a gentle way through the pelvis. Now keep moving the same leg and reverse after 4. Inhale, drop the knee across the midline, stretch the leg down, turn outward and pull up on the exhale. Avoid tightening the shoulders when you start to bend the knee. We want to feel the attachment of the weight of the leg into the bottom of the ribs rather than the bottom of the neck. And when you've done your last one, pause for a moment, bend both knees, and just settle here. And of course, now we'll make that transition to the other side. The non-working legs, straight or bent, your choice. Prepare with an exhale, supporting your neutral spine. And then begin on the inhale breath, bent knee dropping out to the side, sliding down. Exhale, roll it inward and draw it up. 4, please. We want to stay stable in the knees, so not a lot of twist there. The rotation is definitely inside the hip. Reverse after 4, same leg moving. We don't want any giant tilting side to side, but a little bit of a shift in your weight is not a bad thing. Now, when you've done your last one, you'll pause, bend both knees again, breathe in and out. We're going to roll off to our side and do spinal rotation from that side lying position. Ball between the knees is fine once you're there, and a little extra height under the side of the head is appropriate if you feel like your neck or shoulder are really crunched. So the arms are out in front with this one. The hands are together. We want to resist scrunching the shoulders or hunching them and instead open the chest. As you do that, find the connection across the back of the shoulder blades and the little lift under the collarbones in front. Kegel, and as you inhale, turn the head upward, lift the top arm. As you exhale, spiral open, reaching the bottom arm along the floor as you twist through the height of your spine. Return on the next exhale, using the muscles around your waist, then ribs, then the arm lowers, the head trues up. 4, please. That's it.
Okay, you dog.
And when you've completed your last one, roll to the second side. And I want to encourage all of you, among all the other things we're doing, to continue to feel the core connection to breath. Don't become obsessed with it so that you're so stable you forget how to move, but really feel the connection between stability and movement. If you haven't begun, of course, inhale, lift your arm and turn your head. And continue through on each breath, the same as you did on the first side. The larger twist, whether you're opening into it or returning from it, occurs on the exhale. The other thing that occurs on the exhale is your lengthening, your connection into the inner thighs, pelvis to lower extremities, your connection in lift through the crown of the head, the various levels of the spine. Use the Kegel to ground the inhale and move through the end of your set of 4. We're on hands and knees when we're done with this. We'll do cat stretches, so nothing else besides that, just continuing to mobilize the various joints. You want to have comfortable hands and knees. Try not to lock the elbows. And then do a little shifting through the ribs. You can drop the ribs forward to the floor and then push them back to the ceiling. You can move your weight forward to your fingertips and back towards your hips. We want to find the just right spot where the joints are neutral, everything has freedom of movement, and our weight is evenly supported through all our extremities. Take a breath at this point, and then start at the base of your spine and exhale. Initiate with an imprint, just like hip rolls, as you begin to flex through the length of the spine, each vertebra stretching through the outer surface, a spooky cat curve. Inhale, hold, and then exhale, return into neutral, starting at the base of the spine. Feel length rippling upward through the crown, the openness across the chest, and then inhale, extend, lifting the top of the chest toward the base of the chin. Release, and repeat 2 more times. That larger movement occurs on the exhale. We do have extension on the final inhale. And keep it subtle. We just want to experience a stretch and a spreading across the upper front ribs and explore connection into the back of the shoulders. When you've completed your last one, make your way down to the mat, lying on your back. Ball between the knees. We are going to move the arms around a little bit. We're going to keep it really simple and do just 2 ranges of movement. We'll start with an opening and closing to the side, and then finally end with our overhead reach, and we'll do 5 of each. We'll also be moving only on the exhale breath, so it's a pretty slow, deliberate movement. Arms extend forward toward the ceiling. Palms and wrists face inward. The chest is wide. Inhale in preparation. And on your exhale, as you lightly squeeze the ball, spread the arms open, moving the arm bones inside the shoulders. Hold the open position, ground it with the inhale as you kegel, and then exhale and return the arms forward. Continue through your set of 5. Shoulders are a very dynamic structure. So think of the shoulders as shoulder blades, collarbones, resting on the ribs. So right off the bat, it's complex. We want all of those parts and pieces to remain stable but adaptive as we move the arms. So as you open the arms, you might feel the shoulder blades moving toward each other on the back, and then releasing a little to allow the arms to come forward. When you've done your last one, pause with the arms forward, and I'll wait until it looks like we're all at that point. Now, with the same pattern of movement, that is only on the exhale, we're going to reach back or overhead. Prepare with an inhale, and then exhale, reach back, allowing the shoulder left and right to be adaptive. Exhale, return. And in this case, that adaptation in the shoulder girdle, instead of moving toward and each other on the back, scapulae, they're going to rotate on the back of your ribs. As you reach the arms back, bottom points of the shoulder blades open apart a little bit. When you return, bottom points of the shoulder blades tilt toward each other again. Reach back. They start to rotate away from each other. And rotate forward. The bottom points rotate toward each other. And then when you've done your set of 5, you can go ahead and lower your arms by your sides. All righty. Put your weights off to the side. We're going to nod the head a couple of times. resting everything else, we isolate the movement at the neck, inhaling to lengthen and elevate the base of your skull, allowing the chin to drop toward the top of the chest. Now we're not crushing the throat or the jawline. Exhale, release. And we are leaving the weight of the head on the ground. You know this. Inhaling, the base of the skull stretches upward away from the top of your neck. And then exhale, the stretch relaxes. Be curious about what the effect of this movement is on the vertebrae just below the back of your neck. We use this head nod as the preparation for a larger forward bend. And so you want to make sure that as you're nodding your head, instead of creating tension in the back of the ribs or upper spine, you're creating an awareness of flexion, a readiness for that movement. Return to neutral from that last one. And then lift your fingertips, your hands, just an inch or so from the mat. We will engage the front of the shoulder here to do that. Keep the arms straight. The triceps are working as well. And I'd just like you to shrug the shoulders upward, feel the shoulder assembly lifting off the ribs, and then unshrug, pulling downward from below. Pulling upward from above on the inhale and downward from below on the exhale. And then when you've done that a final time, settle in that middle spot where the shoulders are neither lifted nor depressed. And then just very gently rotate your palms toward the sides of your body and feel the shoulders opening as the shoulder blades get a light connection across the back. Ready for ab prep. Inhale, nod the head. Feel that preparing the remainder of the spine. And then exhale with the chest open, bend forward. Hands will slide down along your sides as the upper body lifts from the mat. Inhale, exhale, and lower. Please do a set of 6, 5 more. Nodding on the inhale, preparing the spine below for flexion. And then with the chest open, exhale, bending forward, arms sliding past the hips and thighs as the chest and shoulders lift. And then exhale, lower. Move through your set of 6. And if you need to place hands behind the head instead, it's a valid modification. Sometimes even hands to the chest. Keep the principles of stability and comfortable movement, as well as the ability to breathe in and out without a feeling of stuckness or tension or holding at any point of the breath. Now, when you've done your last one, you can pause, put the ball off to the side, stretch your legs down the mat. And I always suggest, we're about to roll over onto our belly and do some prone extension, but I always suggest some foot movement. So if you need to point and flex or circle your ankles or sway side to side, go ahead and do any and all of that, just so we've got blood flow down into the arches. We're not going to get foot cramps when we lie on our belly and point our toes. And then when you're ready, roll over to lie on your front. We start with breaststroke prep number 1. So as you lie on your belly with your legs stretched below, you have your hands up near the top of your shoulders, your elbows in the mat. And then take a breath or two here. The back of the inner thighs are important here as well. So as you have your exhale, feel the grounding of the pelvis through the legs and the lengthening up under the dome of your skull, stretching long, supporting through the sides of the waist and the back of the hips. Inhale, open the chest, and then finally exhale, extend the upper spine, breastbone reaching forward and upward toward the base of the chin, maybe coming all the way up to the bottom ribs. Inhale right there, and exhale, reverse, rolling right back down. Continue through 4 repetitions. Feel the sequential nature of the extension as well as the return to ground. For me, the imagery of sliding the inner surface of your spine up the inner curve of a circle works pretty great as shorthand. And then slide right back down. Four repetitions of this one. And when you finish that set, bring your arms down by your sides and rest for a moment, turning your head in one direction or the other. Without pressing the face or the ear toward the mat, just gently settle. We're only here for a couple of breaths. Create as much softness in the neck and shoulders as you can by allowing it. Then return your head to center. Keep your arms down by your sides. And we continue with breaststroke prep number 2. Re-engage the legs, right? Pelvis connected to the back of the upper inner thighs. And then inhale, spread the chest as you lift your arms along your sides, palms facing inward. Exhale, extend long through the crown of the head and feel the chest floating upward. This is more of a levitation or a hover than a curve. Inhale and exhale to lower. We do 4 of these as well. You continue on your own tempo, inhaling to place the shoulders and stretch the elbows, and then exhaling to rise. And truly, you're reaching so far through your crown that the chest wall grows light and floats. Deep connection in the middle back and the legs and in the core. Last 2. Feel the unshrugging action of the shoulder blades as the neck rises. Yep. Now we're not tilting the face upward, but as the upper back rises in space, the back of your neck rises as well. We want the shoulders out of the way. Yes. And then when you finish the set, relax your arms by your sides, turn your head in the other direction. Let your legs go a little soft. A lot soft. Then return your head to center, and with the help of your hands, walk yourself back until you're in a shell stretch. It's kind of like the lifted version of child's pose. So our chest or belly not pressing down toward the thighs, but actually rounded up a little bit as though we're resting over a ball. Yeah, a nice smooth curve for the back. We breathe in and out in the centered position a couple of times. And then you have the freedom to move your hands around or move your head and shoulders around, stretching different parts and pieces that need the movement. When you've done all of that housekeeping, return to center, walk your spine up. And lie on your back. We're going to move into the 100 here. As you're getting into place, feel free to, of course, choose any version of the 100, the modifications that is best for you this morning. Head can be up or down. Arms can be long by your sides or behind your head or potentially holding a flex band. The legs can be straight or bent. The non-negotiable part is the breath. Well, actually, even that. You can take 3 or 4 breaths instead of 5 if you want. The non-negotiable part is the establishment of your center. So let's do that now. Take a breath and exhale, make your imprint. Feel the low spine lengthening in response to the low abs contracting. And then again, sense the weight of the pelvis. You don't want to feel floaty down there. That'll make your head and shoulders really heavy. So put your weight in your hips. And then exhale, lift a leg at a time to tabletop. Keep your weight in the back of your pelvis, in your tail as you stretch your spine. Now, begin to think about the modification you might want to use. And if you need to place anything, you do that. with the arms long by the sides, behind the head, or potentially holding a flex band. Inhale, nod the head. Feel how this prepares the spine below for a forward bend. And then exhale, bend forward like you did in ab prep, keeping the chest open, sliding the shoulders down. If you're going to straighten the legs, go ahead and do that as well. Begin now the breath, inhaling 5 times maximum as you pulse the arms. Exhaling 5 times as well. And if you've chosen to do fewer breaths, say 3 or 4, you just want to match the inhales to the exhales as you pulse and continue. 10 sets, please. Try not to let the tailbone or the bottom of the ribs lift. Both endpoints of your center need to be fixed and stretched. That's it. As you finish that last set, you're going to start to inhale and open the chest and shoulders as you bring the arms to a still point. Exhale, bend the knees if your legs are extended. Breathe in and then exhale, lower your head. Feet go down one at a time. Breathe in, breathe out. And then finally release your imprint. All right. The endpoints of the spine still grounded, but out of that long stretch, just resuming their neutral curve. Sway your knees side to side. Nice set, you guys. Eventually you drop your legs off to one side and roll off, just come up to sitting. And we do have rollback, so we are proceeding through the prescribed sequence. Yeah, half rollback. You can sit on a cushion or a blanket or a little chair. You can sit on the floor so long as you don't have tension in the hips. That's often a pretty big ask at this hour of the day, or if you've been skiing or walking around in the snow. All right, so get where you can feel the sitting bones. And then roll the shoulders a couple of times and know that as you lift them in front of you, it's kind of like you're doing an arm raise. So you'll be using the front of the deltoids. Connect across the back of the shoulder blades and then lift the arms in front of you. You're welcome to keep the palms facing each other or to turn the palms downward. I'm going to keep mine facing each other. Feel like you've got something in between them that you're squeezing, but they don't grow any narrower. And then on the exhale, use your lower abs. And stepping off from that imprint motion, we take the curve up through the remainder of the lower spine. Inhale here and exhale, return. And if you've been attending class, you'll know that we've been putting our focus on the lower abs as we roll back. And then the inner thighs into the lower abs as we return forward. Continue through 3 more repetitions, a total of 5. As you move into your imprint, that should prepare the spine above. Oh, for that sense that we're going to bend. Mm-hmm. Final repetition. Once you've completed your set, rest your arms down. Roll your shoulders. Okay. We're going to stretch the legs out in front. So you might need to make room for yourself. And the next 2 things are going to be spine twist and then roll back. If it's possible, you want to have minimal transition between those 2. So stretching your legs out in front. If your arms are here, all you have to do is press the back of your arms away. Feel the shoulder blades moving into connection across the back, very similar to the arm opening we did in warm up. And then inhale in preparation. Divide the exhale into 3 and begin twisting from the lowest part of your waist a little. Exhale again, twist moves upward. Exhale again, twisting into the bottom of the ribs, but not across the shoulders or the neck. Inhale, center, and then other direction. Because we're still holding the arms in space, and you can modify there. So I'll say that right off the bat. We will feel a little bit of work in the deltoids. You should also, though, feel support under the shoulder girdle. You might be able to sense the shoulder blades on the back and that sort of supportive sling that they form across the back of the upper and middle ribs. Almost there. One more to each side. Let the chest get tall, right? Buoyant upward toward the chin. Oh, and then lower your arms. That's a long time to hold your arms up. Roll your shoulders. Turn your head to each side slowly. Don't tweak your neck. Just kind of slowly stretch. And then take your gaze forward. And we continue into roll down. So if you need to get a cushion or chair out from underneath your bum, do that. Legs are stretched. Then we'll have the arms in front again. Now you're welcome to keep this palms facing each other position or to do the more traditional palms downward. We want the chest to be open regardless. And then we focus on the low abs as we exhale and roll back. The whole spine being informed of the curve that it takes as you roll all the way down. If you're able to lower your head, lift your arms, and then exhale, bend forward. I ran out of space behind me, but you probably are able to go all the way down and up to the floor. 4 total, please. Especially important in this one is the ability to feel an uninterrupted channel and flow for the breath. And if you need more than one breath, that's totally fine. But try not to stop, hold the breath and strain through any portion of the movement. And I'll wait for you guys to all sit up and finish the last one. That's it. Once you've come up for the last time, you pause there. Oh, and bend your knees. Lower your arms, of course. Bend your knees and just let yourself round forward over your legs for a moment. Continue to breathe here. We're going to move into rolling like a ball next. So feel here with your feet on the ground, with your weight forward into your legs, the nice stretched curve of your spine and how relaxed you can be into that curve. Take a breath and then exhale, roll up. You can keep your arms on your legs if it's comfortable, or put them down by your sides. And now preparing for rolling like a ball. Make sure nothing's in back of you. And exhale, make your imprint. Starting to prepare and inform the rest of the spine of where it's going direction-wise. Once you've got that deep curve in the lower half of the spine, bring your feet in. Now this time, as we create the curve that we had before, we're going to have to use our muscles a little bit. We want the spine to be just as relaxed as we lift one foot from the ground and support the leg with the hand, the arm muscles really. Find your balance point, keep the spine relaxed, and lift the other leg. Allow the heels to drop toward your seat and open the chest. Bend the upper spine forward so the forehead comes toward the knees, and you've recreated the curve in your spine. On your next inhale, roll your ball back, and then exhale, return to where you started from. 6, please. Try to keep the knees together, the feet side by side. And try to keep the inhale and the exhale complete and smooth. Inhale, still moving all the way down into the lower part of the belly. Exhale smoothly all the way up without a stop in the middle. That's it. And when you've done your last one, right, we all work at different speeds. Lift your head, put your feet down. And roll down to the mat. On the mat, you can have a head mat underneath the back of your head if you wish. And you can have your flex band handy for one leg circle if you like that prop for the exercise. So lying on our back, the knees are bent. We want to establish the core breath before we complicate it with external muscles. And then you guys can begin with the leg of your choice. We'll exhale and lift one from the mat. If you're using a flex band, you want to hook it around the bottom of the foot. And then as you focus simultaneously on keeping neutral posture, you can stretch and bend this lifted leg a little bit. All right, make it comfortable, put some flexibility in the hip, and then put it in a position where you want to take it into a circle. So from tabletop, you can straighten it directly up. You can have it a little bent or all the way in your tabletop position. Bottom leg, you can stretch or keep it where it is or any point in between. We prepare with an exhale. And then on the inhale breath, take the working leg out to the side and move it in a circle downward across the midline as it comes up, eventually ending where you started. Please do 5. At the end of your set of 5, pause for a moment, a breath or so to reset. You might restretch the leg. You might just become aware of your posture. And then the same leg continues in the opposite direction. Inhaling to bring it across your midline and exhale, sweep down in a circle, up, around to the side and over the top. 5 here as well. Good, you guys. When you finish your last one, right, get the flex band or whatnot off to the side. You can hug this knee in. You can take any other sort of little stretch or rearrangement that you need to make. Eventually, you'll end with both feet on the ground, both knees bent, in a neutral posture. Reorient here, reconnecting to breath support, letting the bones settle. Then you lift the other leg up. And of course, get it all arranged so that you're able to move into one leg circle on the other side. Stretching and bending, pulling in, pulling out until you get the just right position. Bottom leg can slide down or remain where it is. Any point in between is fine. Neutral posture is mandatory. Inhale, take the leg out to the side, and exhale, make your circle. 5 total, please. Reset after 5 and reverse. Inhale to start and exhale to finish the circling. Is your cat helping?
Every time my foot goes by her, she grabs for it. Yeah.
Oh, our pets, they're such good companions.
Yes.
You put the flex band off to the side. Any little stretch or squish you need to do with his leg is fine. Both feet are going to return to the floor eventually. Posture returns to neutral if it's in some other position. And then again, you have a couple breaths in and out. We will be going through our complete oblique series today. And of course, we'll take it stepwise. But that does mean that we're going to work in an imprint and from a tabletop. The next one will be single leg stretch, and you can choose to leave your head on the mat if that's better for your upper body. Regardless of head up or down, I want to stress that the relaxation of your upper back and spine is really part of the goal of this and needs to be whether or not your head is lifted. So exhale, make your imprint. And notice as you make your imprint and contract the abs, if you're subtly contracting anywhere else, don't do that. Inhale when you've got that sorted. And then exhale, make your tabletop, one leg and then the other. Again, check the state of your upper back. Be careful not to close the top of the chest. Hold on to the backs of your legs. If you're going to bend forward, inhale, nod the chin. And then exhale with the weight in the pelvis, upper back light, bend forward from the mat. If your head is down, leave it there. Inhaling in preparation. Now on the exhale, pull one knee in and stretch the other leg away from you. Inhale as you momentarily release and switch legs, and then exhale, assist the pull, the stretch. Alternating across the sides. Maybe I should have said that right off the bat. There is that momentary release of the legs. Make sure, and you're doing that while you're inhaling of all breaths. So make sure that you're able to retain the breath in the belly, the Kegel support. Do one more across the sides. And your center is your heaviest part rather than the back of your neck. When you're even across the sides, inhale and exhale, lower your head if it's lifted. Arms by your sides, imprint still as you exhale and lower a foot and then the other. Release briefly to neutral, stage one. Right, so you can shake out your tail or move your head, anything you need to do to release tension or holding. And we prepare for this phase 2 of our oblique series. Exhale and make your imprint, isolating the contraction of the abs apart from any other work. Feel that both the tailbone and the bottom of the ribs are grounded and stretched away from each other. Upper back is soft, chest is open, and you exhale, lift a leg at a time up into tabletop. Hands are behind the head for this one. We'll nod the chin to the chest, relaxing the upper part of the spine, and on the exhale, bend forward. Single leg stretch, only this time as you exhale and stretch one leg away, you're going to twist across from the waist toward the bent knee. Inhale through center and exhale other side. Keep that going. We're going to move toward 5 repetitions across the side, so you can count your own if you like. That's it. When you've completed your set of 5, hold a firm supported tabletop, tailbone ribs on the ground, stretch through the points in between, and then exhale, ease your head and shoulders back. Arms by your sides, exhale one foot and then the other down as you sustain imprint. And then feet down, release imprint. Have a breath. We are halfway through, my friends. Before losing focus though, you take a breath, we've got our Kegel, we're present in what's going on, and then you'll exhale and make your next imprint. So this little refreshment of the contraction of the feeling is important. Stretching between the tailbone and the ribs, both ends grounded, all sorts of length in between. Exhale, lift a leg at a time into tabletop. And your choice, hands can be behind the head, or for a double leg stretch, you can have the hands behind the thighs. Right? Now, of course, you can modify and leave the head down, but if you're not, inhale, nod, preparing the upper back for forward bend, and exhale, do that ab prep from the mat. Take a breath, and on the next exhale, stretch your arms and legs away. Inhale, return, maybe fingertips skimming the ankles, and exhale, stretch, hands sliding past the ears. Inhale, return, exhale. Go for 6. If the head is on the ground or the hands are supporting the head as you bend forward, of course, there's no movement through the arms, right? That's okay. When you've done your last one, keep your imprint in tabletop, gently lower your head if it's lifted, arms by your sides, exhale one foot and then the other down, return to neutral. Almost there, you guys. Okay. Breath in and breath out, maybe sighing to relax the interior of the chest, the back of the neck. And then getting your head literally into the game. Kegel and inhale. Exhale, make your imprint. We've got imprint, we've got length between the tailbone, between the bottom of the ribs as we ground through those points. We've got length through the bottom of the tailbone, the base of the skull as we open and stretch. And then we exhale, lift a leg at a time into tabletop. Scissors now. Here too, you can leave your head down, but let's all put hands behind the back of the thighs. Straighten the legs upward. And then if you're going to bend forward from the mat, inhale, nod, and relaxing the spine, exhale, bend. Inhale here. Exhale, split the legs front to back and pulse. Inhale through center and exhale, pulse. Keep going. And go for 6 across the sides. Yes. That's it, you guys. And when you've done your last one, return the legs to tabletop. If your head is lifted, exhale, lower it down. And then exhale 1 foot at a time to the ground. Inhale, release to neutral pelvis. Keep your feet on the ground. And just breathe in and out. So we're going to use our shoulder bridge as our last formal exercise here because it does a lot of really nice stuff. We're working in a neutral spine in essence, and so it demands a lot of stability as we extend the hips and as we flex them. It ties into the inner thighs, the back of the legs, the bottoms of the feet. And in a sort of backward way, it ties into the shoulders because as we lift and lower, we're pivoting the spine, the rib cage through the axis of the shoulders. So it creates nice stretch there and through the neck. Ball between the knees is fine if you want to use it, totally optional. No head mat, please, or minimal. Feet are grounded and placed in a way where they can be very useful to you, so not too far. Take a breath. And on the exhale, lightly squeeze the ball and press down through the feet to lift the hips and the spine up because it's all attached. Inhale here at the top and exhale to lower. We prepare on the ground and then exhale, squeeze the ball and lift, connecting our core into our lower extremities. Inhale at the top, a nice stretch through the shoulder girdle, the base of the neck, and then exhale, gently lower down, connecting upstream into the crown of the head. Please do 3 more on your own timing. Last one. When you've lowered from your last repetition, put any props off to the side and maybe the blanket goes back under your head. Stretch your legs out long. Turn your palms upward, let your arms and legs rest wherever they fall. Then have 3 or 4 rounds of breath here. Eyes closed or open. If your eyes are open, just soften your focus a little bit. One more time, here we are releasing the effort of those external muscles. Releasing technique, trusting that the regular work we do will do its job. Breathe in and breathe out, comfortable in the body, soft through the breath. Eyes open. And then one more gentle breath in and breath out, aware of the room around you, your place in it. And we are done today. So thanks for stopping in and taking class. Have a really great weekend. I'm going to turn off the recording, but of course I'll keep the room open if you want to chat. Take care. We'll see you later.